And I'm here live in the studio with Flory.
Hello.
So, welcome.
Oh, thank you.
We just listened to your set, and I have to say that I'm a little bit fangirling right now. It was really, really good. You're up top now with Hudson Taylor, my favorite coffee house session artist.
Thank you. That's a great compliment.
Yeah, well, I really, really enjoyed it. It was great. So, you're a drummer, singer, songwriter, model, multi-talented people or
Sounds
person.
like a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. It is a lot. How has the coffee house tour been going so far for you?
Yeah, good, thanks. It's it's different from anything I've ever done before because I usually play with a full band and my sound is quite big and has big production, so it's kind of different to break everything down and do it acoustically. But it's been amazing traveling around the country and meeting lots of new people, and yeah, really cool.
Good. Yeah, you just mentioned that your singles Free Falling and Little White Lies, which I love, by the way, have very strong production values. So you have to strip them back for the coffee house sessions because it's an acoustic set. How do you find that?
I think, one of the things I really love about stripping everything back is that I think that the songs and the melody still holds together, which kind of I hope people still really love the songs even when they're broken down, because I spend a lot of time songwriting. So yeah, that's been amazing to hear them like that. And some work better than others. I'm doing a half an hour set, and I've obviously put out a lot of music over the last few years, so it's quite difficult to pick the ones I'm going to play. But I wanted to play a few new ones as well.
Yeah,
to give people a little
good
taster.
Because you've got an album in the pipeline. What can we expect from that?
Well, it should be out early next year. I've got a single coming out January, February time, which will be my first kind of big single on Sony, because I was an independent artist for last 4 years, but signed to Sony at the end of last year. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, the album is just something I have been working on for the last few years. And, even as I was releasing EPs and putting out music, I was still working on the album as a kind of longer term project.
Okay.
So yeah, I can't wait for people to hear it.
Yeah, that'd be great. I can't wait to listen to it. So you've had released a succession of EPs. You had 3 EPs, if I...
God, I have to think about that. 4.
2, 3, 4.
4. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't do my homework.
That's okay, don't worry.
Has that been more enjoyable to do than working on one large album straight away? Or is it...
For me, I started as a drummer, and that's how I got into music. Then I was in bands and moved up to London when I was 17 and did a lot of kind of session drumming with different bands. And I started at Xenomania as the house drummer, and that's how I got into writing for other artists and singing things and demoing them. And then I thought, I'd really like to sing these myself, which is how I became a solo artist.
Okay, wow.
But yeah, so I always set out to kind of put my music out there and see if people liked it and build a fan base, and I've been really lucky to have that time to do it. And I did fund that through doing little modelling things, so I have been lucky to have that time and not have to sign a record deal until last year, when I felt like I was really ready and my live act was... Okay,
so it was a good way to prepare yourself for, what's about to happen next year.
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
And I have had that time to work on the album, so I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, well, you should be. You just mentioned you were an in-house drummer for Xenomania production house on tracks by Girls Aloud, The Saturdays, among others. What was, or who was your favorite artist to work with?
Oh, I think I've met a lot of people down at the studio because, people come down to work on singles or albums. But I think probably Girls Aloud, because I started as the in-house drummer, I think, on the Monday, and then by the Friday I had played on The Promise, and all the girls were down working on the album, and it was just crazy. I was thinking,
so that was your first experience.
Into? Yeah, exactly. But they're all really lovely as well, really nice.
I bet. Yeah. And as a drummer myself, I want to know, what's your favorite song to play the drums to?
You're a drummer. You kept that quiet. My favorite song, when I was learning drums, that's how I always learnt, was by bringing in my favorite song and playing along to that, which normally was like the Spice Girls or Avril Lavigne or Blink-182.
Yeah.
Like as I was having lessons from kind of 8 to 14, I guess. But I think now I do love playing along to chart music. I'm a big fan of pop music. Like, I love big melodies and catchy hooks and everything. But I quite like playing along to something with a really simple beat and then kind of making up my own thing to it. I think it's good for like improvisation to practice.
Definitely. So that's what I like about the drums, that you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want, really.
Totally,
you can pretty much play along to any song. But
what do you like playing along to?
Well, The Pretender by the Foo Fighters is my favorite song.
Ah, that's a good one.
To start with. Because it's so like kind of aggressive, but I don't know. That's one of my favorite songs to play the drums to. So I wanted to know what was yours.
That's a good choice.
You have a strong focus on videos with your songs. I really like the video for Little White Lies.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's really nice. What do you like about that visual side of music, really?
I think it's really interesting, when I write songs, I'm inspired by lots of different things, and, it all comes from me, but sometimes I make up little stories or characters or something I've heard that day. Lots of different ways of finding inspiration, but I think it is amazing to translate that into an image, because if you've had that image in your mind as you've been writing it and playing it, it's amazing to be able to actually kind of see it visually. And usually what I do is, when I'm making a new video, is I write down a video synopsis, song synopsis. So I kind of write the meaning of the song and anything it makes me think of, and then pick a number of directors and send that out to them, and then they send back ideas based on my synopsis and then what they make of the song as well. So that's quite interesting to get other people's takes on it as well, and then we kind of bounce ideas back and forth.
Yeah, so you're quite involved with actually the creation of the videos as well. Yeah,
definitely. And I think, some video directors are absolutely incredible and have amazing ideas, so I want to get their ideas too. I don't want it to be, all coming from my brain. I think it's good to work as a team.
Yeah, sounds great, definitely. You also seem very happy to embrace social networks. You mentioned your YouTube channel a few times. I watched it yesterday and discovered some new things, like you speak Russian.
I do, a little
things
bit.
like that. So do you like interacting closely with your fans? And is that how you think you build your fan base?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been like that, I guess, because I started with my first EP just putting it out free online and kind of, I guess, building fans from that point. And I was always very open and let them know what I was doing and what I had been doing and the plan going forward and everything. And obviously speaking to them on Facebook and Twitter. So that's really important. And I think, doing the YouTube videos is a fairly new thing for me, or, a couple of months. But I'm getting quite into it. I like being able to actually talk to them. They can see me talking to them.
It was fun watching them. So, as a new Flory fan, go to YouTube, check out her channel, because it's really fun. So is that the best way to find out more about you online, via YouTube or Facebook, Twitter? Yeah,
I mean, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, just at Flory, Florie. And then my Facebook and YouTube is Flory Music.
Okay, cool. So keep that in mind. Finally, you've done lots of really great covers on the YouTube page, like Happy Little Pill, which I really liked, and cool. Giant in My Heart. Do you have a particular favorite?
Oh, I think the Imagine Dragons Radioactive cover.
Yeah, that you just played as well.
Yeah, and that one was kind of a last minute thing. I was like, I really love this song, and I'd been kind of working out the chords and got my friend Annie, who's out there on the road with me. Mm-hmm. She plays my band as well. We just sat down for half an hour with the guitars and then filmed it. It was one take.
Wow.
I didn't go like that afterwards. It was like 10 takes later of doing the other ones. But I think that's probably my favourite one. I need to do a new one soon, actually. So if anyone's got any suggestions.
Oh, well, that's a good one. If anyone has a suggestion, give us a shout at Ramar Radio and we'll forward it to Flory. Send an email to studio@ramar.co.uk. Use the shout box on our website, www.ramar.co.uk. Tweet at Ramar Radio or get in touch with Flory herself if you have any questions or requests or comments, if you want to let her know what you thought about the show, if you're just as enthusiastic as we are. All right, that's it. Thank you, Flory.
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
It was our pleasure. It was really great. So next week we're back with more Coffee House session. And you can always go to mixcloud.com/Ramar Radio to listen back to Flory's set of today. Thank you for listening. My name is Roxy, and I'll be back next week.